It's tough. You got that? No worries. Daughter called, "Can you put 3 kids at 5?" And I said, "No, I don't think so. Why?" Members of the team. I said, "I'm sorry tonight."
Piano lesson at 4:30, so I have to. Piano lesson at
I said it to Steve. I'm not sure how what it is.
That will be all.
Hi, Mary. How are you? I'm glad you.
Actually, no, I'm not. I thought you said that.
Oh, no, I was going to ask, do you guys want to sign seats, Mary? Do you want to sign seats? Does it matter? I just want to make sure I know where I'm at. It'll take a second to find myself here. Oh, this is high school. Yeah, it is nice job. It's a lot of work.
I have no idea. Nobody but me too. I was like, so better.
Oh, that's cute.
Actually, it's not okay. So, and then there's the other one. And then there's yes. The links and the addresses of all the hotels.
Thank you.
I had to get. How are you? I mean, and then we have.
Oh, what's your lunch break?
I think I.
How are you? Hi, how are you? It's also your phone.
There should be a. We get these from.
Yeah.
Probably better than I do.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. Put us next to each other. What do you think? It did.
Hey, I told them to break that up.
I guess.
There we go. We get to sit next to each other. No, you're right.
How are you, Renee?
I'm fine. It's been a long couple of weeks. I registered for that.
Oh,
Yeah, both my emails.
when did it pass?
Today. So
Oh,
I was before I emailed them.
yeah, that was the Adobe one. Apparently, people were having a lot of trouble with that. I did it like 4 times.
Thank you.
I think the last time I used this person was an extra day. Hi there, how are you? No, I'll stop. Sure.
No, by all means, please.
I know.
I'm capable.
We're I'm like, grab some chairs from across.
Yeah, I was like, this is not fun. Not your moment.
I know the parking lot is.
No, no problem. Ask me again.
Yeah, great. How are you? Hi. How are the babies?
Spectacular, still pooping yourselves.
Congratulations. That's exactly what they're supposed to do.
Right away.
In a flag.
When I go to grab, I have not before.
I was like, I'm not gonna. Yes, yes. But not all. Yes, that's the one.
I'd like to call this meeting to order of the
Olean City School District Board of Education meeting. Today is February 3rd, 2026. And we will start by making sure everyone is here, which they are. So fantastic in spite of the cold weather. And let's do the Pledge of Allegiance. Aubrey Malik, our board member, will lead us.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let's have a silent prayer or moment of personal reflection. Thank you. Next, we need a motion to approve the agenda. Do we have a motion? Moved by Lee, second by Renee. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. The agenda is approved. Next, we have commendations, communications, and welcome. So we'll do communications first, and then we'll go to commendations. We do have a communication that we received on December 31st, 2025, and that was Kirk Windus, Executive Director of the Cattaraugus Region Community Foundation, and it's in recognition of our Homeless Huskies event. So recently, there was a gift of $1,000 to the Good Samaritan Award Fund as a result of the Homeless Huskies, and we talked about them at the earlier board meeting. What I didn't know is that the Good Samaritan Award Fund was established by PRE, and it supports an annual scholarship for a graduating Olean High School senior who is participating in the Homeless Huskies program. So it's an awesome program. I know that my own children, who are now in their early 40s, participated, and so it just is a great event. And I especially want to recognize and thank Mr. Perry and the Student Activities Council and all of the students who participated in the event. So great job, everybody. Now, we do have commendations also. We have a lot of commendations tonight. That's why we have a full house. And first, we'll have the New York State School Boards Association leader who is here tonight, Sylvester Clary, who has been a friend of mine for a very long time. He is an ardent supporter of public education. He's the former president of the Forestville Central School District, but he has received so many awards over the years because of his passion for education. And he had to travel a long ways tonight. He came from Forestville, New York. And so I want to welcome you. And he has the New York State School Boards Association Champions of Change Award that is to be presented to Scott Brzezinski and the OHS NHS for the North Union Street Gardens Beautification Initiative. So I would like to welcome Mr. Cleary up to present the award.
Where I should stand, so I might just
That's
move
perfect.
around. First of all, I just want to thank you all for having me here. I am no stranger to the area, however. I went to 4th grade through 6th grade in Portville Central School. So, and I used to play midget ball in Brander Stadium. So I'm no stranger, all right? But I was very surprised when I saw such a distinguished person sitting in here as Kathy, who has done so many wonderful things for so many people, not only in school-wise, but for our county, for our state, and for our country. So it's just wonderful seeing you here. First of all, on behalf of our NISBA's president, Chris Snars, and NISBA's executive director, Bob Snyder, because of those folks, I'm here today. 6 months ago, I think I was here, I think it was in June of last year, giving you folks another award. It was a Culture of Caring Award, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
So it's wonderful that I'm back here again, giving you folks another award. That says a lot about your district. It says a lot about the students that you have here, and it says a lot about your entire culture. So I'm just so pleased to be here. I missed the initial last week, I guess it was, I was supposed to have been here, and I've got the wrong date. But tonight, I've got the right. So I just want to give you, make a brief overview of the Goodwill Recognition Program, so you understand basically what this is about. NISBA assists school boards across the state by providing advocacy and training. And several years ago, we created something we call Eclipse, an aggregate news service that collects education-based articles from throughout the state. And then we publish the article on a daily basis. The saying goes that it takes 7 positives to correct 1 negative. And in light of a news cycle that has overwhelmingly been negative and dominated by social concerns, NISBA created this Goodwill Recognition Program to highlight the countless positive things happening every day in our schools. This includes district students, staff, selfless, uncommon acts of empathy, fair play, sportsmanship, civility, citizenship, service, or charity that benefits those in your district and BOCES, or a larger community that serve as a model for others to emulate. Today, more so than any other time in history, we need to emulate people who share a few characteristics like love, like faith, like courage, like nonviolent protest, like truth and justice. I think those aspects of our life today, more so than any other time in history, we need to raise those to the surface. Particularly, just recently we celebrated Martin Luther King Day, and those are 5 attributes that he pushed. And the thing about Martin Luther King and what he has done for our country, and how it relates to students. He always tried to impress students that it is students who carry the weight moving forward. You students, you are our future. And we have so much respect for you and for the work that you all do. Because if we are going to succeed and move forward in this country, it's going to be because of the positive things that you do. So, like I said, I didn't want to miss this opportunity just to come here and recognize all of you in this district. So without any further ado, I'd like to just, we have a change banner, and if I could get a few folks to come up and we'll have a picture.
Dr. Morris, you get in the picture, I'll take it.
Olivia and Ava, you can join us as well again. I got my 2 of my NHS students here as well, so.
This room is not really easy.
I tell you what, well, we have students, a couple of students.
Yeah, that's.
It's all about you folks.
I will crop out everybody else, so don't worry about it. I know how to use this.
That's right.
Thank you.
Yes.
Well, we got it.
So, next on the agenda, we want to extend our sincere congratulations to senior Jacob Spears, and he received the Special Olympics Sportsmanship Award for his kindness, humility, and heart for others. Jacob is the son of Sheila Spears, and I don't think Jacob is with us tonight, but great job, Jacob. I think to get the Sportsmanship Award really, truly is a big accomplishment, and it's one of the most important things that you learn in sports, so great job, Jacob. Next, we need to also congratulate Ava Finch, Youth of the Week, for the week of January 12th. Ava is a senior at Olean High School and is the daughter of David and Marlana Finch. And as we know, the Cattaraugus County Youth Bureau has a Youth of the Week every week. And Ava is a senior. She was nominated by her school counselor, who shared, quote, "Ava has demonstrated academic and athletic excellence throughout high school. She has been a class officer for many years and is a role model for her peers. She demonstrates compassion and commitment to serving her community." And so for example, for the past 5 years, Ava has volunteered with the Homeless Huskies program, and she helped to raise funds and awareness for individuals experiencing homelessness. She also volunteers annually at the Washington West Thanksgiving dinner, assisting with event setup, and serves as a gift wrapper for Washington West Elementary student Christmas shopping event. And she also helps students with disabilities. She also is an athlete, and she, as we pointed out, she served as class vice president for the past 4 years, demonstrating consistent dedication, responsibility, and leadership within her school community. So she really shines. She's one of those bright lights that we are so fortunate to have the students here at Olean Central School District, and so we just extend to her our congratulations. And I don't think she's here either, is she? No. Okay, great job, Ava. Make us proud. The following students were named as 2025 Fall All-Western New York Scholar Athletes. First, we have Joe Mest in football, Lily Eaton in soccer and girls cross country, Kaylin Kratz in girls volleyball, Ava Moses, you know that name around here, for girls volleyball, and we want to congratulate all the recipients also. Next, we have a very special award, and the Ron Shoup Award is presented to a teacher who emulates the characteristics of Mr. Shoup, who taught at Olean for more than 40 years. He took a genuine interest in his students or families in need and went out of his way to help them. He was loved and was respected by his students. The District Engagement Committee proudly presents the Ron Shoup Award to Lori Anastasia for exemplifying these characteristics and supporting students and colleagues alike, making a significant positive impact in our district. Lori, we are just so grateful for the excellent work that you do. She currently is my grandson's teacher, and he just loves her. And she's been with the district for 33 years now. And I just asked her what her favorite thing is, and she said, we have dance breaks. So, and she learns new dance moves from the students. But that's what teaching is all about, engaging the students, making keeping them exciting and
Then
having
we
fun.
get to work.
Right, and then you get to work, but I'm sure it's a great motivator. So I just want to say congratulations to you.
Thank you. It's an honor. Shupi was an amazing man. It's definitely one in a million. So I thank you to whoever nominated me and to the committee. I really appreciate it.
Well, this is the time where I get to tell you what whoever nominated you they said. It's not a secret. They said wonderful things about you, but they said you've been a teacher to their children and grandchildren, and you've been dedicated in teaching not just the academic aspect, but true citizenship too. You're a great influence to all students, and your values of family are also awesome. And you've been an inspiration for many years. Your skills as a teacher have given their family the will to stay in school and further their studies after graduation. You are so thorough in explaining all materials that need to be taught. And then we got a third one that said, I have children and grandchildren, great grandchildren, who she has taught. Even though she is very strict, she's very detailed in what she teaches, the interests of each student she relates it to, and gives 100% to make them model citizens. Her work is greatly appreciated. So those are just some of the great testimonies that we got that led towards the nomination and the award. So thank you so much, Lori. So we're gonna grab a picture with you real quick, and we're gonna thank you for being a photographer.
You'll get my bill on Tuesday.
Thank you.
Hopefully invitational.
Thank you.
I appreciate you.
Thank you so much.
We can't take it with
What?
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Enjoy the game.
Yeah. I'm on. Thank you, everybody.
She's off to the basketball?
Yes.
Go Huskies. All right. We also have the Leader of the Pack Awards, and those are presented to faculty and staff who are known to always go above and beyond to make a difference. The District Engagement Committee proudly presents these awards to Greta Moran, Tina Turek, Kenny Wright, Patricia Frederick-Angelo, and Terry Burrows. So it's wonderful.
Here, and I'm gonna read what we got as your nomination. As the grandparent of several Olean athletes, his methods to help each player learn goes beyond just being a coach. He truly explains everything. He teaches with genuine care, and his methods prepare each athlete for what's ahead. Hats off to his dedication and commitment. So congratulations, Kenny. You are appreciated, and we really are very happy to extend you the Leader of the Pack Award. I want to just mention that Mr. Burrows has delegated the award of his to his wife, who's on the board. So we're going to read his, and then I will read through the others, just so you guys can hear the wonderful attributes of all of our awardees this month. So Terry has been serving in the school community for over 20 years, first as an athletic coach, and the last 6 years as a long-term substitute. He has coached hundreds, if not thousands, of Olean students through football, basketball, softball, and even years as a former YMCA gymnastics coach. He never turns down an opportunity to help wherever it's needed, whether it's on the field, court, or the classroom. Over the last few years, he has served this district as an elementary teacher, a science teacher, a special ed teacher, a health teacher after the tragic passing of Mr. Shute, who left enormous shoes to fill, and 2 different science positions, all while coaching multiple sports. Terry uplifts every student he encounters. He goes above and beyond for every endeavor. His efforts are not limited to a field or a classroom. Many of his athletes and students confide in him for struggles and troubles they face in their life. He always goes above and beyond to help and support them all. Even when he's not a teacher or coach, he's in the stands cheering as a fan. His effort is not always noticed, and I think he deserves recognition for all he's done. So congratulations to Terry. This was recorded, so Terry can hear that as well, but we just want to make sure that he understands how well he's appreciated for all of the stuff that he's done.
It's very appreciative and is coaching a game right now.
Yes, that's why he can't be here. He's also in the game, go Huskies. And then we had 3 other nominees that were awarded this time, and they were unfortunately not able to come, but we really appreciate their dedication to the district. So I'll just read really quickly. Patricia Fratacangelo, since she joined the PAC at Washington West, not a day goes by where a staff member doesn't dote on the work ethic and the effort of her. She dedicates herself to her role tirelessly, maintaining a healthy and clean atmosphere and environment for all in the halls of Washington West. Ms. Patricia takes initiative, seeks input, and she's a true leader in our school community. Without Ms. Patricia, Washington West would not be the place that it is today. We extend our sincere thanks to her for her unwavering commitment to her role and willingness to go above and beyond for the call of duty every single day. So congratulations to Patricia. And I just saw Greta this morning, and she was smiling. And just as said in her nomination, she's always the #1 person you can go to with any problem. She's always there to help you with a gigantic smile on her face. At Washington West, we would not be able to function without her. And then finally, but certainly not least, Tina Turek is the one that is always responsible for the amazing baked goods and all those wonderful treats that you get anytime you are doing participating in a function in our school district. And the nomination said she's always willing to help out. She's never idle, always looking for something to do and willing to help out wherever is needed. She is efficient and she brings wonderful new ideas to Olean since she started. So congratulations to all of our team members who were the recipients of our Leader of the Pack Award. And we're going to show you a very small token of our appreciation and snap a really quick photo. So congratulations.
Congratulations.
They should get this together.
I know.
Go close your eyes.
I will try not to.
Congratulations.
Last year, they actually got me started coaching.
That's wonderful. So we really appreciate everyone's dedication to our students and their positive impact on our district. So again, congratulations to everyone. On the agenda, we have introduction of new employees, but we don't have any new employees to introduce tonight, so we'll breeze by that one. Also, there's public comment, and we do not have anyone sign up for public comment. But that brings us to the student members reports, and so we'll start with Olivia Black. So,
This past weekend, we had the school musical of Big Fish. I personally do not know what it's about. I did not go, and I heard a lot about it, but I couldn't really put two things together. I heard about Alabama, and it just got lost in translation. I heard it was good from a teacher. She said she never usually cried to certain things, but at the play, she cried. So it must have been a very emotional play. This coming up Tuesday, the 10th, is it? We have the Winter Carnival at what is it? Holiday Valley up in Ellicottville. I think that's just a nice way to show inclusion with everybody. It allows everybody to put themselves out there and show that they care for their fellow Native people. So that's really nice. I'm also going to be part of that. So in the next meeting, I'll talk about it again, what we did.
I will also be on the Winter Carnival trip. I'm excited to talk about that and excited to be able to work with students that we don't usually see throughout the day and like talk to them and be able to represent everyone. It's everyone's favorite time of year, the winter weekend week. Throughout the week, we've had spirit days where students have got to dress like yesterday was Big Money Monday. We dressed like we were rich, and today was Twin Tuesday. Students, it's amazing to see how much students participate in the spirit weeks. And on Saturday is the dance, and the theme is Nights in Las Vegas. Exciting. And then this past week, Olivia and I reached out to every school's principal, except for the high school because go here. And we just wanted to reach out and say that we were willing to come and visit and read to the students or just come to any upcoming events because we want to be able to represent all students and not just the ones we see every day.
that's great. By the way, that's Ava Moses. So for people who are watching, it's live streaming this report. So, Leo?
Do you guys have class comps coming up?
Oh yeah, we have class comps on Friday. We're playing dodgeball.
Sounds like you have a whole bunch of entrepreneurs and student groups, so that's good. That's great. All right, well, have fun when you go to Winter Carnival. I know you'll report on it next time, but what are some of the things that happen there?
We get to just work with other students and just be a part of something bigger and just get to spend time. And I did Unified last year, and it's just a really good opportunity to speak to these students and get to know them and involve everyone.
Are there activities that you do?
Yeah, we go sledding with them. We just do certain like winter sports.
Uh-huh. And that sounds like a lot of fun. Well, certainly we don't have to worry about not having the snow this year.
No, it should be.
That's for sure.
What is it gonna be? We're going on Wednesday, so I think 32, 35. Yes,
Yeah.
it was gonna be like a negative 11. I was almost like, do we really wanna go? Well, my students are all like, yes, we do. I'm like, okay, all right, we'll go. But yeah, maybe a little bit warmer. That'll be nice. So yes, you'll have a good time. They'll put you to work doing some stuff and making sure that you're helping out and helping kids in and out of inner tubes and all that good stuff. So lots of fun things for you guys to do. So yes.
That's great. So, good. Well, have fun. And thank you for those reports. Next on the agenda is a board report, and I just want to talk about a couple of things. First of all, on January 14th, Aubrey Malik, Alex Calvi, Betty Burrows, and I attended in person the Congruency Committee meeting. As people know, during the labor negotiations this past year, 15 minutes of instructional time was added to the day. And the big question is, when do you add that 15 minutes? Do the students come earlier? Do the students stay a little bit later? Or do you split the difference? And that was the main part of the discussion. We had a very good turnout, I felt. It was held in the cafeteria. We had parents there. We had faculty and staff there. And so we got a lot of great input from folks. And so It's gonna be more discussion, but I feel like we're making progress. And from my perspective, the big conversation that has to happen now is what do we do with that 15 minutes? Because that's gonna be very important for our students to be able to make it as productive and as meaningful as possible. So I was glad that some of the board members were able to attend that. Betty Burrows alerted me to this on Facebook, but there was the budget hearing held for education. And I think that Dr. Morris is going to talk about the state budget too, maybe Jenny. But the ranking member on the finance committee asked several questions that I think are very relevant to us. So one of the questions during the hearing that was raised, and as you know, this is on the governor's budget proposal that was released in January, and every year, once the governor's budget is released, there are committee meetings that last hours and hours and hours, but the members of the Assembly and the Senate are able to ask direct questions of the commissioners of each department. So Commissioner Betty Rosas was there. And one of the big concerns this year in the state budget is that foundation aid, which we all rely on, and that's the major part of the funding for schools, was only increased by 1% in the governor's budget, which is very problematic for a lot of reasons. Obviously, we've been dealing with inflation, for example, and we feel it in our family budgets, but we also feel it in the school budget. And one of the big areas that was raised by Senator O'Meara, which I totally agree with, has to do with energy costs. And I'm sure we're seeing, Jenny's rolling her eyes, but I'm sure we're seeing massive energy increases, and there's a couple of reasons for that. One is New York State systematically has put all of its baseload power plants out of business over the years. So Indian Point, for example, that supplied 25% of electricity to New York City was closed. Energy in Dunkirk, Cuga power plant. And so we mostly rely on bringing in power from other states or other countries such as Canada. And so that's been an issue. And at the same time, power demand is increasing with this electrification, focus on green energy and electric cars, electric buses, electric everything. And also things like artificial intelligence, for example, sucks up a massive amount of power. And so with the basic law of supply and demand, as the demand increases and the supply goes down, it's driving up costs. And on top of that, the infrastructure for power delivery, it's called the grid, is very outdated. And so the ratepayers, meaning us, have to pay for any upgrades. And so there was a rate increase approved by the Public Service Commission. And all I see is that energy costs are going to continue to go up and up and up. And so you need to be very cognizant of that as a school district and actually as users of power here in New York State. But it's a problem, and people have seen their overall over the past couple of years their electricity rates go up 50%, and over the last couple of months because of the cold weather, they've even doubled and tripled. And you might have noticed that when you opened up your bill at home. So something to keep an eye on.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
We've been saying it for years, but we need to figure out how we can invest in solar somehow for all of our buildings, or at least some of them.
Yeah, we could. The problem with solar though is it's only 5% effective in the wintertime. So that would be a good positive development for sure.
Sure, but, yeah, I mean, just ways that we can, right, because you're right. I mean, this is pulling so much.
You can
Out
see
of
the
our
school
budget.
open a coal power plant. That'd work great, actually.
Yeah.
The math's clear on that one. Just saying.
Go with the
But no,
electric buses too. And,
Yeah,
The mandate is
Possible.
2027, I believe, Dr. Morris. And it's a problem. Lakeshore, I think some of us saw it in the news, but Lakeshore School District had buses breaking down, and apparently to heat the buses, it
Yeah.
pulls power, so it's the same power that you need to heat the bus. So they were driving in the days, horrifically cold temperatures, without any heat on the bus for the students. And they had a bus breakdown, and it's notorious. I can't even imagine this month, but because it's been so cold, but they're notorious for not working in cold weather. So that's, I think there's a push among some, not all, in the legislature to try to roll back that mandate, but it remains to be seen. But overall, with foundation aid, only 70% in of the districts in New York State received a 1% increase. So that hits upstate rural districts like ours quite hard. So I think if people would like to contact their legislators or people in Albany, I would encourage that to express your concerns about the governor's budget proposal, because it's just not going to cut
I
it.
think they told us we needed to all get on a bus and roll ourselves there to Albany, get right out there.
You know,
But not electric
prior,
bus.
prior to
So that's what we're
COVID,
told.
prior to
Just
COVID,
saying.
I would say that school districts across my whole Senate district used to do a great job. They would show up en masse.
Yeah, I know, that's what I was told. Yeah, you guys aren't showing up, you're not coming. I'm like,
Well,
oh,
this year they're also offering virtual Lummy Days, which I've shared with you all.
Yeah.
They also, they're not in
Quite as
session when the
effective.
superintendents are there in March. But I think we should take advantage of the fact that we do have virtual lobby days, but we also have our legislators local. And we can also contact and be impactful that way as
Yeah.
well.
You can send emails or go see them in their offices. But I do think that, I'm glad they have the virtual option. I don't think that it has much of an impact, and that's the problem with it. So,
we can
but
say
anything
thank you for
people can
offering.
do to try to help out. I think what could help us is that it's an election year, and so the entire legislature is going to go up for re-election. So hopefully good things happen in the final budget. So that's all I have.
Wonderful.
Okay,
So-
Dr. Morris.
Thank you so much. So I'm just going to briefly echo what you just said, because the 1% that's been proposed as the increase for foundation aid, it's been echoed as inadequate across the entire district, across the entire state. They said at 69% of the districts in the state would receive that 1%. And the issue with that, as well as the utility conversation, is that most districts are experiencing significant increases in health insurance, and that would absorb that 1% immediately. So there's limited capacity for most districts to raise enough money to mitigate that 1%. So it makes an opportunity for the legislators to respond and provide additional aid for our schools. So beyond the foundation aid, there was also the proposal to make UPK, universal pre-K, truly universal. And so that's a welcome proposal, because that would allow the formula per child to be increased, and that's been a struggle for most districts for years. So if that comes through, that is something that we recognize as positive. And we were told last week during the retreat that I'm about to highlight that the electric bus mandate was still our mandate to align to. So that mandate, we were told, is still not going away. So last week we had the ACSA, which is the Allegheny Cattaraugus Superintendents. They had their conference. We were local at Holiday Valley, and we were fortunate to have a presentation from Bob Lowry, who works with NISCUS, which is the New York State Council of School Superintendents, and he went through very detailed the budget proposal from the governor and what impact potentially that would have on school districts, and encouraged many of us, like Kathy said, to lobby to urge the state to allocate more than the 1% for the foundation aid. considering that it would have such little impact on such an important area of work. So we were very happy to be able to hear from him, and he's sent several things even recently about the hearings that you're referring to, just to keep us informed about the advocacy that's still working at the state level. So then we will have a further budget update of the development of the 26-27 budget, and that will be done by Jenny. But before that,
Before
I
you
just-
introduce you, because we're gonna move to the strategic plan update, I just wanted to kick back, I'm sure you were gonna mention it, but I just wanted to, what Olivia mentioned about the musical.
Yes,
I'm glad.
I
Thank
did-
you.
I did
Okay, I just
bring
wanted to
it.
make sure it's not on our agenda, so I wanted to make sure that you
Yeah.
highlighted that, because I did attend our Music Boosters, did some great fundraising. People were incredibly generous, and I thought it was a wonderful production, and
I
it
was
was put on a great effort, so I'm sure you're gonna talk about that, but I just wanna make sure we
Yes.
did move on before that.
Nope, I've got it right.
You were there
here
too,
on
I know,
my
I saw you.
list. So Big
Miss
Fish
Jenny.
was presented by our high school students, and they had a presentation both on Friday and Saturday. It was fantastic. I love Tim Burton movies, so I was very excited to see Big Fish on the stage, and I told all the students it was better than the movie. They did a great job. And
Wow.
they
did
just,
great.
they
did a
had
great job.
so much that they had to learn. There was such a lift with the acting, but they did a phenomenal job. Every single actor up there put their heart into it. It was really good. It did have some complex themes, but it was so well presented. There
Good
was
lighthearted moments.
lighthearted
too. Yes.
moments, there were serious moments, the costumes were amazing, the singing was incredible, and the acting by our young scholars here was so good. So I had an amazing Friday. It was great. Every single student who got on that stage did a great job. I saw some of them around the building today, and they were telling us just how much work they put into getting ready for that. And they're all gearing up for the spring concert as well. So I was like, wow, you just finished learning this. And they said, nope, you just keep going. It's going to be one more round of fantastic performance, and then we'll be ready for graduation already. Isn't that? It's amazing that that's right around the corner. But yes, Big Fish was phenomenal. It was really cool. Lots of times to laugh. There was one line in there where he yelled, "Get back to work," and I've been yelling that since Friday. So my daughter was a little startled, like, why is she yelling? But it was hilarious. So I think everyone there did a great job. Thank you to the Music Boosters. Thank you to the music department. And it was a wonderful performance. Thank you so much. So that was the last thing I had on my list before I was going to hand over the proverbial mic to Mike Martell and Heather Keller, and they're going to talk about the work that they're doing. Mike's going to talk about technology, and Heather's going to talk about the work at Eastview and how it aligns with our strategic plan. Thank you.
So before I talk about technology, I just have to say I'm very happy that I could be here tonight because Ron Shute was my 7th grade health teacher when I was at the middle school. And we were both much younger, but like what a guy, just like amazing to run through. So that was very special for me. So you should have just a one sheet that looks like this. Mary, I don't know if this qualifies as a graphic organizer.
Yeah.
Sort of.
It does. I think so. Visuals.
Okay,
I'm a
that's what I
visual
was kind
learner. I
of
like
going
it.
for here,
Yeah.
but I'll put my tech department hat on for now. And so just to give you a little history of 4 big initiatives that we're really looking at through the tech department. And I have to say, like, I just picked like what I thought were the most student and teacher facing right now. This is my 6th year down in tech, and it really is amazing how much goes on behind the scenes. It's like people have no clue like what goes on to make everything work every day. So hats off to the team down there. So in the upper left, I'll start with that one. That's the most literal picture off of this sheet. That's an LG Create board. So last year, we realized that the smart brand boards that we had in all of our elementary classrooms and a majority of the middle school classrooms were starting to fail. They were well over 10 years old. They were workhorses. They were great, but we just noticed that it was time. So we've taken on the initiative to upgrade those. The picture that you see there is an actual picture of one. So last summer, and again, thanks to Mr. Husselstein and his crew, because I went to him last spring and I said, if I order 85 of these boards, is it possible that as soon as the teachers leave, we get the old boards off the wall and we get the new ones up? And he said, yes, we can do that. So within a few weeks of everyone leaving in June, we were able to swap everything out, and that allowed us to train the teachers somewhat, so they were ready to come back in the fall. It's still an ongoing process. So we've got Dave Lasky working with them as questions come up. But these new boards, definitely a big upgrade for all of our classrooms. Basically, you think of it as a giant Android phone hanging on your wall. You can download apps, you can access the internet, you can log into your OneDrive and call up documents right on these boards. You can remotely connect from a laptop to this board and project things from your laptop to the board so that the whole class can see it. So a big upgrade in the classroom, in all of our classrooms. So that's one big initiative we pushed through. The upper right picture, you'll see a desktop with an arrow to a laptop. And so another initiative we've been taking on is converting the teacher desktops to laptops in all of the classrooms. A few different reasons for this. One, it was time to swap out the desktops, but the laptops obviously take up less space. They're obviously more mobile so that the teacher can move around the room with them. I mentioned that they can remotely project to the new LG boards that we're putting in, so that's huge. The teacher can take it with them if they go to a workshop, or if they want to take it home, the teacher can take it home so they can do things at home. But it can basically do everything a desktop can do, but just takes up much less space in my classroom. And I don't want to say it, but if we ever had to go to a remote, did I say it? If we ever had to go remote again, we would have all of our teachers, ready to do that very quickly, much more quickly than we did. So that's kind of in progress. We've replaced all the elementary buildings. The middle school, I think, the middle school is done, and we're pushing on to the high school, hopefully for over this coming summer.
Do the teachers still have a monitor they can hook up to?
So we kind of give them, so we kind of give them the option. Many of them just go with the laptop.
Just the laptop?
Some of them want that little bigger monitor, a little separate, so we.
I find it's a little nicer sometimes when I'm working on my
Yeah.
yearbook stuff,
Yeah.
quite honestly.
And
But,
and
you know.
and some people don't like the
It
trackpad.
is
Some
useful,
people
yeah.
want the mouse next to
Yeah.
it. So we kind of go with what they request.
Yeah.
You know.
But we have no longer have
That's-
desktops.
Yeah.
We have for a couple of years now.
Yeah.
Just
So
laptops. it
was time.
Oh, with the, external.
Right.
And I not everybody does have that, but
Yep. So we kind of whatever they want to happen, we try.
it's do like the little bit bigger.
So.
And that's probably a big move in the right direction, for sure.
The bottom two kind of our initiatives we're just getting into. The bottom left, you'll see a little guy that says you may not pass. We did a little experiment a couple of years ago with Mr. Freeman's class, and we bought into Go Guardian, which basically gives him the ability to lock down the students' computers to just what he wants them to access when they're in his class. It's kind of nice because it hooks in with eSchool and it follows the student's schedule. So if I go to Lee's class, first period, Lee has his schedule all set up so that when they walk into his class, they can only get to this, this, and this. As soon as they leave Lee's class, they go to Janelle's class, and she has it set up for second period. Those kids go to second period, it adjusts to what she has set up, and so it's pretty slick. There's many different functions. They can lock down the computer altogether. They can say you can just go to these websites. They can push out notices to all of the laptops in their room. There's a couple different things that they can do with this. So we're expanding that to our 8th and 9th grade very soon. So we're just kind of making the reach a little further, and we're going to see how that goes. And if it goes well, in the fall we'll probably expand to other grades. Yes.
So does this only apply to websites, or does this actually work on specific executables run locally as well?
Just going out to a browser, just
Okay.
out to the internet. Yeah. So, and it's kind of nice because he can, or whatever teacher can set up schedules. They can set up their whole year if they wanted to. And they can, of course, change it on the fly.
Do a lot of students get tempted to go to websites they shouldn't, obviously?
Not at all.
Let's ask them, they're right here. You guys ever cool math games?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, see what happens.
That's actually a constant struggle. We also by law are required to have a filtering system on our network. And it is an everyday struggle because we will find something that we don't want people to get to. We block that. The next day, I mean, the people creating the websites are smart. They tweak one little thing and it changes the look of it. And the filter says, oh, okay, you can get through there. And then, so it is a constant struggle. So
And so this helps out,
definitely,
right?
for sure.
That's
Well, I
great.
mean, so we've taken away their cell phones, but, you can still give, instead of perhaps listening, I've got your laptop out, and and I did talk with Mr. Freeman about that when you
Yeah.
okayed that. He was all excited about trying that. I'm glad to hear that it's like worked good. And well, so, you want them to be able to use their laptops, but you want to be able to make sure that you're one person trying to teach and everything else, to get around to see, are they on what they're supposed to be on, working, are they in the new visions, US history, what are we doing here, So, yeah, I can see that would be a benefit for sure.
The very convenient thing is, like I said, it changes throughout the day as to
Yeah, for
our
them.
schedule.
Yeah,
And so, and it just kind of happens in the background, so it's very
Nice.
very customized.
that's cool.
And in the lower right, you'll see a hall pass. This is another initiative we're gonna test out with the 8th and 9th graders this spring. Instead of using the traditional paper pass, we're gonna go to an electronic
Oh, I can't wait
hall
to hear how
pass.
this goes.
So this will be, I'm not sure, like, we're so ingrained in using that paper pass. We'll see how this goes. So that way we're just testing it out with the 8th and 9th graders. What this will give us the opportunity to do though is, especially up here at the high school, we now have hall monitors at different periods of the day. That hall monitor can carry an iPad and they can see in real time, like, what students have hall passes currently, where they're coming from, where they're supposed to be going to. And if they run into kids, they can, they can say, like, that's where you're supposed to be, or, oh yeah, I see you're good, et cetera. At the end of the day or end of the week, we can run a report and we can see, well, so-and-so is going to the bathroom 18 times a day. We have to have a conversation with that person. Or different concoctions of that, where people are. So that'll be a definite benefit to, it's a big building,
What does it look like? Just curious.
What is
this electronic?
It's actually, I'm interested to see how this goes because basically, the student just says, Mr. Freeman, can I have a pass to the bathroom? He says, yes. The student creates that pass
Yeah, they
on their
actually
laptop. There's no, here you gotta check this box or what have you, although it can be set up that way. They just create the pass, and they go. And then, like I said, if someone runs into them in the hall and questions them, that person can see. They don't have to ask them to show me your pass or anything like that. So I'm interested to see, it gives the students a little more freedom too, like, a little more responsibility of taking care of that, So, yeah, see how it goes.
Excellent, very.
Yeah. It's about time. We've been writing paper passes since 1942, so.
Yep, great.
So those are just four, I thought, the bigger initiatives that we're trying to push out from the tech department. So, I don't know if you have any questions on those or anything else from the tech department I can try to answer for you.
No, but this is great.
Thank you.
See the new stuff that's going in. We're always interested in what.
The teacher in me loves the hall pass, but the American in me is like, do the Stasi know about that? Look how many times you take a leak.
That's the wild card. I'm just curious to see how that works, But I've heard other schools have had a lot of success with it. So,
I believe
And
you
it's
are.
more than just like hall pass, like a
Right.
lot of districts do it, so for instance.
Well,
in-
You
Yeah,
can
and one of the
do it, yeah.
districts, like, and as we talk about different options for the extra 15 minutes or that extra period in the day, you can have opportunities. So if somebody's signing up to say Mr. Wazinski's class for that period, they can go on, they create their own pass. Mr. Wazinski can then see it and he'll check mark, these 15 students are allowed to come down. Once those 15 are marked, nobody else can come.
Yeah,
Or if they go to the STEAM lab or to the gym or to the weight room, so it's, yeah.
I guess a teacher in me loves it.
Yeah, I know, but so there are a lot of different opportunities for, really student management. It's a
Yeah.
student management.
can I ask, is it a costly endeavor to do?
I don't recall off the top of my head the exact cost of it, but I do know it goes through BOCES and it's BOCES approved.
We actually,
Right.
we haven't
Yeah.
gotten the quote yet.
Okay.
I just had a Zoom with Ear One 2 days ago and gave them a little more information about how many students we're looking at and everything, and he's generating a
Yeah.
quote for us.
Did you
It's
say you're
based
starting
on-
with 8th and 9th? Did I get that?
That's,
right?
yeah,
Okay.
8th and 9th grade, yeah.
It's based on the number of students you have.
Okay.
Mhm.
I think I ordered
Yeah.
275, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
You can also create QR codes if you need to, or, so.
Cool.
Okay.
Nice.
Thank you. Great. That's
Thank you.
great news.
I'm gonna come stand up here because my presentation is on the panel and I won't be able to read it from way back there. I'm gonna own it.
So this is Heather Keller, who is the principal at Eastview Elementary.
All right. Okay, this is my first time using our board, so hopefully it goes smoothly. I took a look at our district's strategic plan and I thought, how does it apply to Eastview School? So I just put our tenets for the strategic plan up there and just tried to point out some things that I've been doing my first year, actually with my faculty and staff at Eastview. One of our tenets for our strategic plan is to create and support a positive school, positive culture. And one of the ways that we are doing that at Eastview is by getting behind the initiative of positive behavioral interventions. And we are working diligently with our kids that have high needs and trying to be really positive in our interactions and the plans that we set up for them to help develop and reinforce the skills that they need to be successful in a school setting. Another thing that we've been doing is recognizing teachers for by highlighting their different things catch them being in their exceptionality. We go around, I go around the little rubber duckies, and we'll give them notes when I catch them doing something. And then the staff at faculty meetings, we have been doing an initiative where they'll write positive shout outs to each other. And over the summer, before the staff came into the building, I had sent out some postcards, and I had the students write some positive affirmations about the teachers that they've had. So we're all about trying to highlight the teachers in our building, and the staff and the things they've done for our kiddos. And then we've been investing a lot of time in some faculty funds and team building challenges around the holiday seasons and things like that. I'll show you some pictures of those as we flip through this. As part of maximizing our success for all students, we've really gone back to some of the traditional things at Eastview and celebrating students there. One of the ways we've been doing that is Mr. Martin is very good about sending his kids up with the big chains around their necks, and where they've made an accomplishment in his classroom, and they get to ring the bell, so to speak, for what level they've attained in math, in their math facts, or for their reading level. And the kids will come up and give the bell a ding, and then we'll turn on the bubble making machine, and we'll do a little dance celebration. The kids get to pick out their music. So we've also celebrated Students of the Month that are in conjunction with our Leader in Me initiative that we have at the school that celebrates the leadership characteristics that the children represent. So we've gone back to doing the Leader in Me and tying it into the Student of the Month celebrations, as well as Student of the Week, because we want to have success for all students, not just one student a month. So if we can hit 4 students a month plus a student a month, that's 5 per class, and hopefully by the end of the year, everybody will be able to be celebrated for their accomplishments. We are really good with our title services there for our students. We have some TAs that are working really hard in conjunction with Sarah Morris, one of our special guidance counselors that works in fine-tuning where the kiddos need the most support for their math. And we have a very strong reading department. We have 4 reading teachers and speech. I can't just say enough about the services that we provide our students to help all our students be successful. And they're able to work with our self-included classes this year as well, and support them in their learning. And kudos to our district for the cutting edge professional development that they've been providing to my staff at all levels. So really, we're very fortunate in all the technology that Mike's department has been doing, just for the kids as well as for the staff. Moving on to our data-driven, Jen Mahar's been very helpful with this. We have our STAR and HMH benchmark testing that drives our instruction for our ELA. We have our math module benchmarks that drives our instruction and our small group work for our math. And then we have our attendance incentives. So all the data that we collect that Jen can compile for any unique data, she's got it. We use that to drive our instruction and our initiatives at Eastview. One of the things that is unique of Eastview and that I'm very proud to be a part of is the progressive and enriching learning for all students. The ICT classroom model is a best practice for students with learning disabilities and special needs. And we have 2 of those classrooms in our school right now. It's a new model and it's working well. And I can't wait to see how they transition as we move through the years at school. Down here, you can't see it. I'm not sure why it's like, maybe if I hit this. Woo, it worked. Okay. Another thing, we've moved our multi-age inclusive classrooms back into our district, and it's working very well. It's something that I, as a parent, would want if for my student, if they had those needs. And I'm very proud to be housing it at Eastview and helping it be successful. We have very talented teachers and a large group of people that are working to help the kids be successful. So I think that's a badge of honor that we should wear proudly. And also, back another plug for Mike, is the latest technology that our students and staff are privy to help us be successful. Our community involvement, where we strengthened and revisited our Cutco partnership through Cutco character luncheons with the students that happen each month, and our Cutco tutors that come into the classrooms and work with students individually to help them be successful. And our kiddos have gone to Cutco to do some Christmas caroling and to provide and just bring some joy in the Christmas season. So I think it's a partnership that we had that kind of lost its way. Now it's back and hopefully going forward really strongly. Some of our community partnerships, we got a grant from the Only in Schools Foundation to help support our Cutco character education initiative. And also we wanted to support our local business, Sports Soccer, by providing them with the opportunity to fulfill the order for that the Only in Schools Foundation granted us. So trying to make our involvement with the community and support our local businesses at the same time. And then following up here, engaging parents. We have our Student of the Month assemblies as part of the PTO. One of the requests was, can the parents come back into the school? We heard that. We want to come back. We want to see things. And one of the great ways to do it is when we're honoring their children, they can come back and feel welcome in our school. PTO events. I'm going to give a plug here because I think we probably have the best PTO. I'm just going to say it, of all the schools. And they really go 100% for our kiddos and the opportunities that they provide. I've worked in a few school districts, and I've never seen a PTO that this is well run and organized and does so much for the kiddos. So plug to our PTO. And then the concerts are amazingly for now, and in conjunction with the classroom teachers, it puts on wonderful performances each season. So kudos to them. And the next slide, if I can get this to work, should show some proof of the proof is in the pudding. So for our create and support a positive school culture, we just had some fun things that I wanted to put up there. Our staff members, we did a turkey challenge, and they had to go around the school and find these little minute turkeys all over. And I've never seen adults turn into little kids faster. And then they started to get into school earlier to see who could get, because they knew I'd wait till they all left at night and I'd go around and place them around. And so then they're like, came in, oh, so-and-so came in early, that's what she got. And then it was like, and I made the rule that you could steal them. If you found somebody that left them like unattended, their little turkeys unattended, you could. So it was just, it brought a lot of smiles, and it made them happy. And then they're like, what are we gonna do for Christmas? What are we gonna do for Christmas? So we did a holiday photo hunt where they had to take pictures of silly things, like a picture of a child crying on Santa's lap, like just ridiculous things. And so they went through the list, and I got to tell you, this team here, Stacy and Leah and Nikki and Leslie, they went to town. They called themselves the Cotton-Headed Ninny Muggins, and they did a great job. And I'm telling you, these pictures were legit. So they ended up winning our little holiday photo scavenger hunt. But just taking the opportunity, here we are with the reading department, and they got the little husky tails on and the husky ears, just to get the kids excited. And we're being silly, and it motivates the kids. And just, showing the camaraderie with the staff, and highlighting our custodian. He was actually eating your treats before you got it to the board. So just a fun, bring the fun back. And the part of the strategic plan I combined are the parent engagement and community involvement. This just shows some of the things that the PTO supported. They supported me with my painting with the principals and their Santa night. In February, they're going to do the Buckaroo Ball, and they're all going to have a little Western theme to bring the parents in and the kiddos. And it's gonna be super cute with Beth Palumbo helping them with her little math skills there. And our Cutco partnership, here's some pictures of the kids high-fiving. And it really gives a nice opportunity for them to sit and enjoy a lunch, a pizza lunch, and then it's supported by our cafeteria staff and the extras that they supply as well. Part of our home family connections, we have the backpack program that provides some food for the kids, and Parent Square is being utilized too for all our important communication, just to keep those lines of communication open with parents in our home community. Here's some examples of the concerts that are just so adorable, and some fun community involvement, our Buffalo Bills Mondays and our football Fridays, but also a plug for our Only in Schools who supported us with our character education program. And the last one, our Maximize Success Bra, kind of did a combo here. Here's some of the student celebrations that we talked about, our little bell ringers. The bell has broken many times. It was the bane of Donald Carpenter's existence as we're sitting there. You broke it again. I didn't break it, the kids broke it. But here's Mr. Martin's little chains with the kids and their accomplishments, and then our bubble dances with the bubble maker. That was also the bane of Don's existence. You're getting my floor all dirty.
We don't have to use shampoo when we
Well,
shampoo the
listen,
carpets
no,
each year.
listen, I don't do it on the carpeted area. Right there in the vestibule, it's like, it's tiled. So, but here's just some pictures of the students of the week. And they get so excited for these donuts with the principal on Friday mornings. So, wait just to help celebrate the success of all of them. And our character, or our school assemblies, this was a reading assembly, and we moved our character assemblies to the cafeteria to use the wonderful sound system there. So just a way that Eastview is trying to implement some of our strategic plans and hopefully keep it going.
Did I see that, and like, there's like pictures hanging outside now or something like that?
Oh, yes. So Stacy Ermer, very talented art teacher, one of the best I've seen because I've seen a lot. And she also led the painting with the principal and how she got all of these kids to get done with their paintings in that amount of time. It's just amazing. But she came up with the idea that the flags around Eastview, they all were the husky paw, the red and gold. And she said, wouldn't it be neat if we could get some funding and have a contest and have the parents and kids work together to create their own flags, and then we'll put them all up, all the pictures up, and then everybody can vote, and the top 12 win, and we can present them at Santa night. So if you came to our Santa night, it was amazing, really, it truly was. And they were all hanging on display. And she had all in the art room in the days before. She had all the pictures that parents, you could create it by yourself, you could create it with a family, and they had them all laying out. And then the winners were actually made, I believe, by Sports Soccer as well, into huge banners to be displayed around our building. And really, if you come, you have to come see them.
Yes.
And see them around.
They're amazing.
Yeah.
And I, like, parents, like, some of the winners and that got in touch with me and loved that idea. So proud of their kids' stuff out there like that on a big banner or whatever. I couldn't let you go without talking about that, because that was.
No, I'm glad you brought it up because they're all up there now, and you can take a look and see them. And we have the winner for it. They make a nice backdrop with all the snow, and the kids really did enjoy seeing them. And well, I felt bad for the custodians. They literally are out there with blow torches, like having to take the other ones down. They had to melt the ice. I'm not kidding. It's not fun. It was kind of funny because they could have done it when the weather was warmer, but okay. So now they're up there and they look great, and the kids are so excited to see them, and they work with their family, and they can be there for a while.
Nice job.
Well, Stacy,
Well,
and good job with the Only in Youth Foundation.
Yes.
So Heather, this sounds like really good progress, so great job on that.
Thank you.
I had a couple questions. One was about the attendance incentives, and have you seen a change in attendance, like what's working, what needs to be worked on?
Well-
Just curious.
Well, honestly, I haven't crunched the numbers, and I could have had the numbers crunched, but I was so busy in the doing that I didn't do them. But as we still have the typical ones that will never, like, they just are always out. But Rachel Schreiber came to me and she said, Heather, she goes, I really do think, she said that this attendance, she said, I've seen an improvement in my class. She goes, and now that I see how good my class is doing, she's like, the next one that we do, she goes, I want it to be class against class, not just for individual students. She said, I want to have a competition for whose class has the best attendance. And I was like, that's a great idea. Like, so the teachers are noticing, and if they would like, we're gonna do another one. So why not have it class against class? Because she said her kids, every day she would just bring it up to them, hey, look at it, we still have this many people in the running, this many people in the running. So
That's really good news. And I just want to say, I'm so happy to hear that parents and grandparents are back in the building.
Yes.
I think that's a major development. And also the Cutco partnership sounds like it's really been reignited and it's doing very well and people seem to be enthusiastic and excited about it. And that was a very important thing, to reengage the community, reengage families, and make sure that it's a community school.
Well, and along those lines, Kathy, you should come by us at pickup time. It's just like an old-fashioned school setting. Because you look out, and the parents walk up, and they're picking up their kids, and they're talking to other parents, and the kids are running around, and they're playing in the snow, and it's just picturesque. You don't see that too often, and it really does make it feel like a community school. It's just, sometimes I just sit there and watch.
Are the teachers interacting with the parents? Because it was.
Well, the teachers aren't going out. They did it in the beginning when the weather was nicer. They're not going out now. I'm just gonna say
But
that.
I mean, it previously was like that where the teachers would chat with the parents.
Well, then it's neat. They have the dismissal at the doors of the classroom, and so they can let the kids out. Like, it does provide an opportunity for the quick, hey, so and so had a great day today, or maybe the opposite conversation. So that component is still there.
Good. Well, I used to pick my grandson up.
So you have that
Yes.
experience. Yeah, it's still going on, and it's very nice.
That's good.
I was gonna say about the engaging parents, as a parent of two Eastview students, that's been really nice. Two things on there, I know that Alex can attest to this too, is the popcorn, parents get to come in and
Yes.
help it with the popcorn and delivering that, so that's a really great thing for parents to do, and I know our kiddos love it when they see us in the hallways, and so that's really fun. And then I also got to do mystery reader with my third grader, which I was surprised that he really wanted me to do that, but I'll take it while I can get it. So it's been really great to get back in there and just to see the kids' excitement, and they just, for whatever reason, love having their parents there and being a part of that. So it's really great.
Well, and it's great that, I would have loved it too, having my parent come in, and I love the popcorn too, because I get a free bag.
Right.
But yeah, it is, and the more opportunities, this is just the beginning.
And that's another way too, that for the, with the popcorn, those sponsored days too. I know a lot of businesses contribute to that too, and so that's another big way.
And again, a credit to Beth Wumbo and her ability to really, we lucked out when Disney lost her. We got her, and I was like, yeah, our kids.
I'm hoping she carries
have a
it right on
Disney
into the
planner
middle
right
school.
here. And she really is a go-getter as far as getting the resources that help support those initiatives. So she does a great job. Awesome. Anything else? All right, then.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you too for helping me with the technology.
So the next thing on my superintendent's report will be the 26-27 budget update, and
Now my picture is smiling
Sharing.
on this one.
No,
I know, although I have to share a funny
Husky's
story.
Right, that's-
Yeah, the husky's mine. So when I was at Eastview one day, doing some work, they were celebrating a little young man and he decided he wanted to have a Taylor Swift dance party. So we were having a Taylor Swift dance party and he politely told me that I didn't have the right moves.
You didn't have what it took, Jenny?
Apparently not. I was like, oh. The next time you get to celebrate this again, invite me over and I will practice. So I'm hopeful that I get to go back again. Unfortunately, I haven't been practicing. We'll get to that.
I'm gonna hold you to that.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna give a brief budget development update tonight. For those of you who are at audit and finance, you've heard a lot of this, but we've updated some things a little bit as well. Oh, I'm changing this and I gotta change this. Here we go. Okay, Kathy gave a little bit of a prelude to the governor's budget proposal as well. There's a lot packed in there. We don't have a lot of numbers necessarily or details to support a lot of it. I'm not gonna go through all of these, but you can see she has a lot of initiatives within her budget. For us, I'm just gonna pull out two that really are significant for us. As Kathy shared, the 1% increase in the foundation aid. Although if you look at our actual numbers, the proposal that we have within our budget is the exact same of what the law provides. So we aren't seeing an increase from what was available, what the law says we'll get and what the governor has said we will get. It's the exact same. And I'll share a little bit more of that detail in the following slides. The big increase that we're seeing, if you look at numbers that were released, is in the pre-K funding, as Dr. Morris talked about as well. We have always offered a full day pre-K program, but we're really only funded on a half day program. So we see a significant increase in the numbers coming into us. What that means is our general fund has subsidized the rest of that. So if pre-K, if UPK is completely funded, that will help alleviate some of those funds from in the general fund and will help our overall budget. There's still a lot of question marks on that as to how that works with our community-based organizations, Head Start for us. If we'll have to share additional funding with Head Start, how that will work, because it has to be a full day program. They don't go, Fridays, how that will all work. That's what we're still working on.
Jenny, so that's just for 4-year-olds, right?
Correct. And that was the other thing that, because we talked about, we would love a 3-year-old opportunity. We would love a 3-year-old class. We cannot use the funding for 3-year-old programs. They did specify that.
Okay.
And that was really on our radar.
Was there something in the proposal about 3-year-olds though? Or no?
What they shared with us is that we would have to apply for the 3-year-old funding grant.
Okay.
For it. But as we talk about enrollment numbers going forward, that's at the top of our radar for Jen and I. Yeah, and we'll get into it more with the enrollment numbers. So if we look, the focus of tonight is really on personnel numbers and enrollment numbers and how we need to watch that going forward with the budget. And we've shared some of these discussions with our unions and with our administrative team as well. Just looking at a snapshot of how many people do we have in the district? We have 220.4 FTEs. I'm not moving right screen. I'll get this down, I promise. 220.4 full-time equivalent teachers. And we also have 77 support staff members who are full-time in the district as well. And then 134 part-time staff members in the district. So we have a significant number of staffing. We also have 12 administrators and 13 management confidential employees within the district as well. We do anticipate some retirements. We have at least 2, but possibly up to 5 teachers retiring this year. So what does this look like from a financial perspective? Overall, our salaries for the district are, they're going up about $1.8 million. Just shy of $26 million is what we have for salaries. That's just salaries. That's not benefits with it. If you see down below, you'll see our instructional salaries account for about just over 23 million of that. So if you think of any of the instruction taking place in the classroom, anything from athletics to extracurriculars and everything, that all rolls into our instructional budget. If you look over in the yellow banner that I have there, our proposed foundation aid for next year is about 1.7. So if you look at our increase in salaries of 1.8, all the money we're getting, back to Kathy's point earlier, all of our money is going to just salary increases, doesn't count for anything else. So that's something we have to keep in the forefront of our mind as we plan the budget going forward. If we look down at health insurance proposal, we've budgeted for a 10% right now. We're hoping to know the first week of March what the actual numbers will be. I do believe that's probably going to settle around 3 to 4% there. So that will be helpful.
When you say proposed increase, is that from the insurance company or from the state aid?
So that is from the Health Insurance Consortium. Based on our financials through December, we were advised by the comptroller for the Health Insurance Consortium to budget 10%. However, we do think it's going to be lower.
But that's almost kind of surprising.
Yeah, we've done a lot of things to try to manage that. I mean, we're self-funded, so whatever claims we incur, we have to pay. We've put a huge effort towards wellness initiatives throughout our consortium, and we've also had to look at things. A lot of attention has gone into management of prescription drug costs. Because it's been the #1 driver of our health insurance costs over the last 2 years. A lot of the GLP medications and whatnot. So we've had to put some stipulations on those as well. And that's really had a big impact. Yeah. So the next screen I want to look at, well, the numbers are tiny. I will explain them and share more detail. And this is a similar slide to what you saw last year as well. What we're looking at here, the orange bars are the number of instructional staff members that we have. Think of it as classroom teachers, individuals within the classrooms instructing our students. And then the blue line you'll see is our student to staff ratio. And as you can see, back in 2013, we had a 12.8 ratio. So 12.8 students to every 1 teacher or instructional classroom staff member that we had. That number has gone down and then it spiked and it's going back down and down and down. The average for this, as we ended last year, was 9.1. So for every 9 students that we have an instructional staff member. That is low based on the average. The average for the area is approximately 13. And I just pulled new data yesterday to confirm. It's about 13 for the area, so that's very low. If you think of a typical classroom, there's about 9 kids to every 1 teacher. That's something we really have to take a hard look at going forward. It's not sustainable with a 1% increase in foundation aid. It's just not. However, we can't look at that in a silo. There's some more stuff that we have to look at. So this graph here is, again, something similar to what we've looked at last year and I've shared. Here, we have a few different lines on here. The orange line is the first one I want to look at. And since 2009, the orange line is the decrease in enrollment for the Olean City School District. And since 2009, that has decreased 27%. So our enrollment district-wide has decreased 27%. So we went from it's about a 700 student difference since 2009. The blue line that we see there, as you can see, really mirrored our enrollment decrease for several years, sort of plateaued off. We had 1 year in 2023 where we had some change in administrative positions and we didn't do a lot of hiring, and then it spiked back up. Our number of FTEs or staffing has decreased at 4.79%, where our enrollment decreased 27%. So enrollment went down 27%. The number of staff that we have went down 4.75, just shy of 5%. However, you can't look at that without considering the change in special education. So the purple line up here, which I only have the data back to 2013, you can see our special education enrollment has gone up 9.29% since 2013, which is part of the reason why that staffing number has also not dropped at the same rate. Typically, we see our student to staff ratios for special education students being lower than your general education population. So you would anticipate that your FTE numbers or your staffing numbers to be higher than your gen ed, but lower than that. However, the trajectory of that is not sustainable. It's sometimes a difficult thing to think of, but if we look at the big picture, our state aid is based on our enrollment numbers, which are doing this, but our staffing and our special ed are doing this. At some point, you get to the crashing point where you just can't sustain that any longer. Julio, you had a question.
So predicting for like the future, is there a sweet spot that we want to get to?
I don't know as though I have that exact number. However, I think we have to start taking some steps now so that at some point those numbers start to come back together.
This is gonna sound like a kind of an out there question, but you'd know, so could you take something on a Laffer curve and apply it to something like this?
A what?
Like a Laffer curve from economics, the idea where there's a sweet spot with taxes that the government uses where you want to tax up to a point, but if you go past that point, you start to get diminishing returns. Would something like that be something that?
Yeah, the problem is there's so many different variables.
Right.
I'll be honest, a lot of this is driven by that purple number.
Yeah. That definitely is an
It really
outlier.
truly is. Also, as we bring back more of our special education population, that's another factor of it. So you have to think about it, the last 2 years, we've brought back over 30 special needs students into the district. You can't bring them back without providing the personnel to support that. So that's something. That's why you're never gonna get, we'll probably be hard pressed to get back to the area of those blue and orange numbers or lines going in the same trajectory unless that purple number drastically starts to come down at the same rate as well. We have a very transient population that we're seeing when it comes to special education. So I think that's gonna be really difficult to see all of those lines coming back together. But the moral of the story is we have to start making changes to keep the district successful.
So when you say brought back, you meant from Randolph Academy?
From BOCES programs primarily. Yep, from placements outside the district back into our four walls or our four buildings. Yeah.
But it's still a money saver, right?
It is, and that's the key. There's that offset, we can typically provide that education to them at a lesser cost. But the difference is you're seeing increase in staffing, whereas before we were seeing increase in contractual BOCES costs, Randolph Academy and whatnot. But we have to find that sweet spot, if you will, to making sure that that's not skyrocketing while our base foundation aid is based on, a lot of it based on the orange number. They do take into consideration your special education enrollment, but it's not dollar for dollar.
I want to make a point that not only does bringing those students back in save us money, but it's also, research has shown that that's better outcomes.
Absolutely.
That they are in school with their neighbors, and that's the reason we should be doing this.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's just a bonus that we save money.
Goes back to what Mrs. Keller, talked about earlier.
We're a community school, so they're part of our community.
Yes.
Have we or should we add more support staff as we bring back more special ed students?
So we have actually. So, yep, we have added more support staff as well.
You have to because it's dictated by the police.
Yeah,
department.
we have, and I'll be honest, it's been a little difficult to get those support staff, but we're fortunate with the new HR specialists that we have on board. We're creating some new support programs for those support staff as well. So we're hoping they'll be more successful.
So that's one of the situations, one of the issues, but also, in all honesty, we just have incredibly small classroom sizes too.
You're right. So
I mean,
I'm gonna go into that.
okay,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm understanding obviously the special education and the
That's a piece of it.
requirements that are necessary for that, but and we don't like to talk about it. None
I
of
don't
us
mind.
like to talk about it, right? But the bottom line is, but we have been talking about it, we've been bringing it up
Yeah.
year after year that, looking at, do we need to replace people who are retiring?
Right.
can
Through
we-
attrition.
Yes, can we go with little, maybe instead of 9 people in the classroom, we go to 11 or 12. Again,
Sure.
don't like to talk about it. I know it's not a conversation that we want to talk about. I get it. But I think not just our district, but I think every district
Everybody's.
in the area is really looking at, what we got to do here because we don't have money, so I mean, something's got to give. So
Yeah. And we sat here last year and had some really hard conversations
We did.
about this as well, and the decision
Very,
was
very
made.
hard.
The decision was made to eliminate one section of kindergarten and one section of first grade at Eastview. And they were hard decisions, and we didn't take them lightly, but we looked at the data, we looked at projections, and as we sit here this year and look at those class sizes, I think they were the right decisions to make. Our kindergarten class sizes at Eastview are 15, 12, 15, and 14, and that was after eliminating a section. So we would have been looking at 11, 12 kids in a class had we not have eliminated that section. First grade, we're at 15, 16, 18, and 17, and that's after eliminating a section. So again, I think those are class sizes that are very manageable. To get to Mary's point too, we have very small class sizes. Pre-K numbers this year are 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14. Those are classes with a teacher aide and a teacher in there at all times. We can't have you have to have one paraprofessional for every 18 students in the class. Again, those are small class sizes. I want to bring that to the next screen here that I have. We look at live births and we look at that data using our projections. There's no more babies coming into Lillian. There's not the numbers that we used to see. If we look at projections from, if we go back to 2013, we had, 189, 214, 188 live births that only in general for people who resided in the Olean City School District. We aren't seeing those numbers anymore, other than one blip in 2022.
How's that?
We have a lot to do. We're all
Creating your
home.
blackout mode?
We're down to the 129, 123 live births that only in general. We're looking at a 35% decrease.
We're seeing it every year
We
in
are.
our graduation numbers.
We are.
We're graduating now equal, if not less than what I graduated with
Yeah.
at Portville,
Yeah.
a long
Yep.
time
So
ago.
So in
So
our most recent cohort, 65% of the babies born, we'll say, at Olean General, made it to our pre-K program. So only 65 of them. So that's the other thing we have to consider. Granted, we get transient students and some move in. But we aren't seeing these huge class sizes. So as we look at sections again, do we need to maintain even the same number of sections that we have? We go back to, if we have if we have space and we don't have enough 4-year-olds to fill the building, let's talk about 3-year-olds. Let's talk about getting them in here and providing services to them sooner so that we can get to them sooner. If we talk to folks at the county and we talk to Kelly Andriano for, CPSE, at the earliest ages, they're bursting at the seams. So it's not that the kids don't need the services earlier, it's that right now, we have to free up space and free up people for that. And that's something that we want to look at moving forward as well, if we can get the funding for that. But preliminarily looking at some of the numbers, we don't need the number of sections that we have necessarily. So as people leave, as people retire, we will consider that. Before we post and fill positions, we will consider that. This year at Eastview, we have a very, very large second grade class. That's the one that we have to keep on our radar, but just because we have 4 sections at every single grade level now doesn't mean that we're necessarily going to have that or need that going forward. There may be that time when, we know that cohort of second graders is going to be our larger group. So it just might be that follows them through.
That's what we did at Portville. We kind of just had like a
Yeah.
floater teacher position
Yep.
where it was like whenever there was that larger
Sure.
class coming in, that's when that teacher would go there.
Yeah.
And
Exactly. So while I talked about 65% of those live births coming to fruition in our UPK and Head Start program, a larger number of those UPK and Head Start students are coming to, a larger percentage is coming to our kindergarten classes. So that makes projecting some of those numbers easier as well. And that's a good thing, because that means that, it used to be that we would get this number of UPK and Head Start, and then we had a lot more students who came to us from kindergarten. A lot more of what we're seeing in kindergarten was in our UPK and Head Start. So that's great. That helps with that transition as well.
What does it take to get that state grant for 3-year-olds?
I haven't looked at the application this year, but we did it when I was at Bala Bridgeburg my last year there, we applied for it. But Jen and I will look at that further, because it's definitely something, that we need to consider.
Yeah, good.
Yeah. So again, we don't have the factories that we used to have either. Like that has that huge impact on it. And again, it's not just us, it's New York State in general.
A lot of the kids leave when they get out of
Yeah.
school. They take-
That and you look at the average size of a household anymore, and it's not what it used to be. I was born into a family of 6. You had these big, huge, you don't necessarily see that anymore.
I was a baby boomer, and this is true. 3rd grade, I had 53 kids in my class.
Yeah.
And the teacher used to write it up on the board,
Yeah.
attendance. And of course, she almost
Yeah.
had a nervous breakdown by the end of the year, but.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
it's just.
we really have to take a
That is,
hard look at it.
that's quite,
Can you
that's quite, that's a
imagine?
lot. I mean, okay, I just take kids down. No.
The live births do, yes, yes. So that's a good point. Betty asked, does the live birth number include kids who then transition to another district? And that's yes, they do.
Right. I mean, that exacerbates the problem.
Mhm.
So.
What's something that Jen Mahar and Jen Kless and Mr. Martell and I looked at, because we've been digging through a lot of data, is the homeschooling population as well. And that as a percentage hasn't really changed much at all. And CA BOCES just put out a survey, and we got some of that data today. And while initially we thought our homeschooling population number was quite large, as a percentage it's actually lower, if not very comparable to a lot of the districts, which is not what we anticipated. We looked at our number and thought it was large as a percentage, but shockingly, a lot of them are large. So, but this
What is that percentage?
what's that?
What is that percentage?
Ours is, I think, 7%, I want to say. I think it's 7, and there were several of the schools that had closer to like the 10%.
So we're in the ballpark though.
Yeah, yeah. So definitely something where, again, we've stressed it, as people retire, we'll be taking a hard look at these. And as we're evaluating positions that are filled with non-certified staff and whatnot, we have to look hard at these. The numbers of students just aren't there to warrant the number of FTEs. And then, is there any questions on that before I move forward?
I just want to point out that, on the prior slide, yeah, right there. Our purple line will probably go up because the national average is 15% for staff.
Yeah,
So we're still batting way under the national average this morning.
yeah, it's interesting. We saw some data on that last week too, and with some of the other local districts, and we are not on the ballpark at all.
No, we haven't been.
No.
I
What-
keep a really good eye
Yeah,
on that percentage
Yeah.
in each of the districts.
yeah,
Trust me,
yeah.
we are not.
Yeah, the biggest struggle with that is the transient students coming in and out and having to, shift and finding the proper placements for kids.
It's our
So
accommodation, yeah.
it is.
It is.
Yeah,
That's the challenge.
so, okay. Really quick, I just want to hit on a few other things as we talk about our debt service. As you look at some of the numbers that came out from the state, you'll see a decrease significantly in our building aid. That's also driven because we have a decrease in our debt service. We've paid off one of our bonds from a capital project long ago. This is exactly how we plan it. We plan it so when the payment stops, so too does the interest. Think about it on your mortgage, you plan that. So again, you will see the decrease in our debt service as well. Buses, we are looking to purchase 3 new school buses, 3 new diesel school buses, this year. We do have the reserve funds available. However, after we purchase these 3 school buses, we only have $560,000 left. So we will be looking at putting a proposal out to the voters to ask for permission to increase that reserve. This is only gonna get us at most 3 new buses. So that's not gonna last. In funding the reserve as we have the money available and then using that to purchase the buses has worked out very well for us. I would love to continue to do that. If and when we get to the point where we have to purchase the electric buses, that's gonna give us 1.
Yeah.
With that being said, they did come out with the waiver recently, so we have the ability to file a waiver to push off purchasing those. You can do it twice. We're not doing it yet because we're waiting till the last possible minute, so we get 2 full years, so that'll push us out 2 years further. But the application process and to get approved is very, very easy. You have to come up with 3 points. We come up with 33 because we can't meet a single one of the requirements, from the load to having the bus garage to having the electrical capacity to do any of it. Going back to the conversation about the grid, at this building, we're on an energy conservation plan through NRG. We have to, when you have high demand days, we have to conserve energy here, otherwise our rate goes up. And I get the notification that you turn off everything you can because you have to conserve energy from this time to this time. And typically it's a time where it's during the summer, air conditioners are running and we don't have kids, and we can go around and we can shut off a lot of the lights. We can change the temperatures a little bit, so it might be 72 instead of 70. The 2 notifications we got last week were on Sunday and Monday. So Monday was the snow day, we weren't here. There's nothing more I can turn down on a Sunday to conserve any energy at all. We're at bare minimum for what we can do for temperatures. There's nobody in the building. There's nothing more we can do. There's nothing. Monday, same situation. There was nobody here. So the point is, they can't meet the demand for us on a day when our building is
We're not
empty.
doing anything.
They're not gonna be able to meet the demand for us on a day
No.
where we have electric
It's
buses
just
and
gonna be
everything
an
else.
epic fail.
So,
Way around.
but it was a perfect opportunity for me to screenshot all the notifications they gave me and add them as supporting documentation to the state for when we file our report saying we can't have electric buses. So, I'm pretty sure they're annoyed at my 33 attachments by now, but it's the reality.
So, my understanding of this is, we're basically playing, the financial trick to making this work is just buying more time.
That's exactly it, yeah, we're, yeah.
So something that I was sort of thinking about mulling over the last few weeks, have we explored the viability of, as we go forward, because there's such a high present upfront cost, let's be honest, it's an insurmountable upfront cost to the EV.
Sure.
The mandate currently states we're not allowed to purchase new buses after 27, right?
Correct.
So if by chance we needed a new bus in 28, which seems unlikely with population, but you never know, okay? That we'd be in a bit of a pickle for that. Just throwing this out there, what about contracting with a third party, not for long-term or as a solution, but as a way to offset the initial cost to buy us more time off? I mean, would that be a viable option?
No, so matter of fact, I actually asked that question at our law conference a few weeks ago, and even if we outsource, like currently we do, the Western New York Bus, Muccio Transportation, all of them, they have to buy the electric buses as well.
They got us locked in like that?
Yeah, they do, so they have to purchase it, so, yeah, they have to purchase them as well, so, and, I mean, quite honestly, for
That
them,
seems
it's
outrageous.
easy just to buy them and pass the cost along to us.
Yeah.
Because, you know, so no, so it's not even, yeah.
So there's no option?
No, so the two waivers that we've gotten that we would have available would push us off to almost 2030.
Okay.
So, that's part of the reason why we're doing 3 this year, 3 next year.
Right.
And then, you know, reevaluating.
See if we can coast on.
Yeah, we'll have to do our handicap bus the following year, so.
All right, oh, that's a pricey one.
So, yeah, so we have a plan, but again, we need voters' authorization to increase that reserve, so we have that money there as well. So I'm working, I've got one drafted up, I'm gonna have the attorneys put their eyes on it and just verify that.
How much would you like to increase the reserve to?
So currently it's a $2 million reserve. I would love to go to 10 million. I would love to go to 10 million for it.
Is that allowable?
It is, so you can, you can do any amount, you can only do it for 10 years. So I feel like if we're forced to go to electric buses, and 10 million is what I would need to get me through 10 years. If we're forced to. Now, we're not gonna be able to fund that right away, it's gonna take, you know,
Right.
Time.
10 years. to
Yes.
do it. But again, if we get to the end of the year, we have fund balance available, we put it in the reserve. If there's years where we don't have it, it's a tight year, you don't fund it. So, but it's the 10 years is what we can't go over. So,
Assist you without the technology that's not there yet. Great.
so, but it is a good sign that we've even seen the waiver process, because that's showing some movement that they're realizing,
Yeah, that they're
like,
starting
this
to-
isn't gonna, you know, this really isn't gonna, it's not.
I don't know if they'll change it until somebody gets hurt and the state has one of the lawsuits over it. Which,
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
yes.
yeah,
Right.
yeah, I know,
Right.
I know, so, but, any questions?
Thank you, Jennifer.
Yes.
All right,
Great.
great, thank you.
That's the end of my report.
Bye. Good job.
You did a great job.
Thank you.
Right, right, right.
Thought that, but I was kind of like, I had to check. So I was like,
Okay, policy,
That would have been the easy way to do it.
next, we have policy review. And this is, One has to do with concussion management
Yeah.
and the other has to do with school safety. So do you want to start with concussion management?
Yes. So with concussion management in January, we had to review some of our policies as per the BOCES notification to ensure that our policies now align with Dacia's law, which was implemented on January 1st. So we needed to, in order to be compliant across the board, review those 3 policies, even though our security, district-wide security plan that we adopted in the summer was developed in alignment with Dacia's plan, Dacia's law. We wanted to make sure that these particular policies also aligned with that. So the 3 modifications that we need to make to these policies as per the Area 1 Policy Service advisement included concussion management. Then there was the school safety plan. And then the 3rd one, we're leaving it as is. So the concussion management, all we're doing is we're not including student members at this time to the district-wide safety plan development. And we added a statement to align the safety plan policy with Dacia's law. And then for concussion management, we just changed one word. We changed safety with obtain.
So with this policy that we received in our board packet, there's a whole sections that are struck out under staff training course of instruction. And I was wondering about that. So
Which one?
under concussion management. So there was a whole section under the staff training that talks about each school coach, physical ed teacher, school nurse, so on, will complete training every 2 years relating to recognizing the symptoms of concussion or MTBIs.
That might be something that's reflected on the side because the version that I have.
Yeah, it isn't crossed out on mine
It
either.
is, okay,
No,
because it's
no,
on
no.
mine.
It is crossed out in yours
It
too.
might be a software issue, but the version that we're putting forth and that is also reflected in our manual reflects that we will provide training.
Okay,
Yeah.
because I was very.
But not limited
Yeah, no, I was like, wait a minute, what
Yeah,
are you?
I know, because I looked it over and I was like, geez, I don't remember seeing anything. The only thing I saw was just the one word.
It's
from
just that
district
one
wants that
word.
instead of seek, it's
Obtain.
authorization, it's obtain authorization from the parent.
Yeah.
That was the only thing that I saw.
Apple's keeping us on our toes. So
That's
we're
all.
just making
Yeah.
that one change.
When it says
Okay.
update, click yes.
Policy, we're leaving it as is.
Okay, so it's not the training, that's good.
Okay.
That makes me feel better.
Oh, yeah, we train.
So that is just a minor change, it's not seek,
Cardiac
obtain is
arrest.
better than seek.
Yeah.
Okay. And then on the school safety plan, you talked about the fact that some schools, I think, put students on the committee.
Correct.
And we've decided not to do that.
Not,
And then there's a lot of information about cardiac arrest, which is good. And I had a question about AEDs, like how many do we have? Do you know?
We had that.
We just showed
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, we just showed it.
It's
I
like
think
it
there's
shows there's,
23.
yeah, there
I think
was,
there's 23.
and there's 2, I think, that needed to be
Yeah,
pads or something.
2 that have to be
batteries.
updated this year. So we have, I believe, 22 and then 1 self-carry.
I know we talked about it last year, right?
Yeah.
We just did,
Just
was
on
it? We just
the
did
health
it.
again.
Health and
Okay.
safety, yeah.
When,
Health and safety, that's right.
when reading that policy, it stated something about not having to provide them with
Obligations,
sports
right,
indoor facilities.
Not having what?
Not having to like, allow access to them when use our facilities.
Yeah.
So we don't have to, for exterior facilities, we don't have to provide them. But if they're using our indoor facilities, we have to identify where they are for the indoor facilities.
So
the distinction is if you're outside versus inside.
So DeMar Hamlin was outside, obviously. So, so let's say track and field, if we have an event there.
Our coaches have them.
I think
So
it's
our-
like somebody's running the field.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, so when our athletes are out there using them, our or our athletic trainer has one, and the coaches have access to them.
I'm talking specifically youth, it said youth sports.
Oh, yeah. So youth sports, and a matter of fact, there was something provided to the youth sports.
They're supposed to have their own.
They are supposed
So
to
like
have their
Little
own.
League has to have their own.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Wasn't it like a commissioner's reg or
Yeah,
something?
like,
Yeah.
they have a whole
Yes.
bunch of training on it.
Yeah, so they're supposed to provide their own because somebody reached out to us and we actually gave them a link to one that we purchased as a self-carry one here in the district. Yeah. Because otherwise, if we were to put them like externally throughout the district, like you have to have a heating system, like you have to buy these boxes, you have to provide heat to it and stuff like that. It's crazy, yeah.
I mean, even in like, cause I know like when the youth sports use the facilities, they use our facilities, like the bathrooms and stuff like that, included, we couldn't put one in like those areas. Like in the concession stand or something like that, you know.
But they're supposed to have them.
I understand that, but they,
Trained on.
Yeah, coaches have them.
Yeah.
Have them.
I mean,
And the athletic.
If it's external,
Mhm.
if they come with their equipment, they should be trained on that equipment.
Yeah.
The failure could be that you are going inside a facility and you may not know how to use that equipment. And I think that's why the reg is that those organizations that are outside the facility need to bring their own.
That makes sense.
When the state required AEDs quite a few years ago, there was some kind of reimbursement. Is that still in place or no?
Not anymore. We talked about that 2 years ago.
yeah, no.
Same with the.
We used to-
EpiPens.
Yeah, yes,
Yes.
the EpiPens is another thing that we've struggled with. With the EpiPens, we do get a 2-pack per building. So we do get a 2-pack per building free through a program through the state, but beyond that, no. But no, and we just used a lot of our COVID money that we had left to purchase all the new AEDs and get them on that rotation. And Kathleen Beeson goes around and she manages them. We have our program. She checks them every month. So,
Yeah.
yeah. You hear those boxes go off and it.
So those are the two policies. And then we approve those later on. Okay. So that brings us to the committee chair reports. And first off, I'd like to hear from our leader in audit and finance, Chairman Kevin.
All right, so mine will be pretty quick because Jenny just did the best of it. The first thing we did was.
You told her everything. so-
Yeah, no, she's great. So,
She's great.
the first thing we had was Dave Ditana, or Ditana, however you pronounce it, but he's from Monty, Whipple, and Bafaro, who do our internal audits. And this year it was on the external activities funds. And basically he went through and gave us different things that they look at, and our procedures were deemed effective in regards to how we process and report the student activity balance. There were some small things that he mentioned to work on, which are just going to go into like our corrective action plan for that particular area. The second thing we went through was the budget, which was all this stuff that we just saw with Jenny. And again, she does a really good job at it. And we had the discussions like we just did now about, attrition and how is this going to look and the live births and realistically what should we plan for. And again, I think she does a really good job at that it shouldn't go unnoticed. The third thing we looked at was the BOCES cooperative purchasing resolution. basically, that's again, it's gonna be presented today, or it's supposed to be. And then the last thing was the unit cost methodology, and basically, these are the codes that they use for determining cost, and they're pretty much the same codes every year, Jenny, is that right? The codes part of it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the costs aren't determined by us, basically.
Correct.
But yeah, so that was the majority that was actually all that we did, and the majority of it was, again, the budget and the audit report. That's it.
And Jenny, you are very knowledgeable when it comes to all things BOCES related. You've gone line by line by line with us on those budgets and those resolutions and all that, so thank you. Helps understand that. Thank you, Kevin.
Well, thank you, Kevin, that's great. I think Dr. Morris can give us a recap of the health and safety meeting I was able to go this time.
Yes, so very quickly, we went over DASH's law and compliance. We made sure that the policies that we just discussed were in alignment with DASH's law. We talked about the AEDs and the counts and et cetera. We talked about when they will be available, when they're not. And we're also talking about the training will be offered locally, regionally, and that we have been working with Tim Richardson from OCSD to make sure that all of our documents here and all of our training are in alignment with expectations for that. That ties into our safety plan because we send out those safety plan to everyone at some point, but we begin with the health and safety committee. So in the spring, I'll be sending those out and asking the committee to take a look at them. And then in June, we send them out to everyone in the district so that they can make sure that they keep their eyes on it. And then we do a public hearing over the summer, and the board will typically approve that in August. Usually in July, the Board of Regents meets, and if there's any changes that we need to reflect in our practice, we change that then. And then the building level plans occur and are submitted in October. Then we also talked about snow days. Sure, that's a good one. But before I talk about that fun topic, we talked about code of conduct too. And that stakeholder group has just begun to convene. So they meet, they talk about what changes they envision for the 26-27 school year. And then they also open it up for feedback. And then we bring in, do a presentation to the board where it is adopted. We make sure that we adopt it to any laws and regulations. And then we talked about what is the fun process that we get to go through to decide about snow days. And Jen Mahar was here and she got really excited because she knew I get excited over the snow day conversation, but generally the guideline is if it's minus 20, that's when we consider a closure. I try to, in normal weather events, consider around minus 15, and we only look at the National Weather Service. So you may see the Weather Channel, we don't look at that. You may see local weather news, we don't look at that. We only look at the National Weather Service, and we look at the wind chill projections over a 48-hour period and look and see if that dips below a certain temperature. We have a collaboration of conversations regionally, so the superintendents are contacting each other to discuss whether, what we're thinking about closure. When Olean closes, we affect lots of other school districts because we're the largest in the region, so we have to take that into account when we're putting through closures. I don't like to do 2-hour delays because it affects the entire region, but we only get 3 snow days a year. And if we can avoid, if we have to, we will use 2-hour delays. We have 2 more for the school year, technically. We did call off 2 days, but we technically have 2 more days So we've been told, and I've been trying to be very conservative with the use of snow days at this point, because we've been told that this winter it's only projected to get colder. Case in point, this Saturday it's supposed to be minus 25. So we're really, we don't want to just use a snow day and then have to come up with some other way to draw days from another break or vacation or something like that.
Maybe it'll just be freezing on the weekends.
Every time they say it's a weekend projection, I'm like, yes. But that's really a lot of the process. We have conversations as superintendents and try to make sure that if we're making that decision, sometimes we make a decision and others don't, or vice versa, but it's usually part of a larger conversation. So we always say, please make sure to reach out if you have any questions. But in normal weather years, which this is a little colder than normal, I usually try to hover around minus 15 because we have so many walkers, but this year has been extraordinary as far as the cold and the prolonged nature of it. So I will always try and take all factors into account when making a decision. And but I'm also trying to be conservative. Once we dip below the 3 days, it affects our state aid. And that's also something that I can't.
It happened to us last year too.
It did, we used our 3.
Yeah.
And
And then you had
wasn't as cold.
to do some kind of an appeal or something like that at the end of the year. The only request that people asked me, was there any way that she can make that decision prior to 11 o'clock at night? She could let us know sooner because it's so challenging, and then at that point, so we know maybe that we are, and I think we kind of did with that one, you know,
We didn't used to know till we saw our school on the TV.
that was our that was the
So-
only request I got is, gosh, could you
For childcare.
just please, because it's so hard.
There are some days.
I understand, I
Like
know.
I think it was year 2, we knew there was a weather event coming the next day. We knew we were not coming in the next day. So at the end of the school day, we made the announcement
Yeah.
to everybody. So everybody knew, take your stuff, go home, you're staying home. The difference was the night where I did it at 11 was we're watching that wind chill thing, and it kept going down and it kept going down. After a while, it's, do we call in the morning, which is what the regulation says that we should do it before 5:30, or do we let people know I can't take another chance, it's gonna keep going down, and then we're at minus 15 or below. So that's why, you know,
And I
sometimes
think
it's
we
later.
understand, like, so like, you know, I mean, we will often call off and I will drive to Bolivar, because we will have school. But we had so many walkers and so many kids that are out there that I think it's understandable. We understand. In fact, if schools talk about it. More than likely, Olean will have to call. We don't bus as many kids in. They have to walk, and oh my gosh, we can't have our kids out there. And I would say we always want to err on the side of safety.
I
for our
understand that, but I
students.
also only
I
have 3 days to call.
I know you do, but you know, I mean, it's, so, I mean, understandable that sometimes we are gonna have to, that was the only request, was, can you let her know that, you know, if she could let us know before 11?
I would
I
love
bet
to,
you probably
and
know
in
what
normal
you're gonna do.
circumstances, I will, but also sometimes circumstances change.
It's true, we
It
know.
was at minus 12 that day as the projection for the 48-hour window.
You were kind of like, maybe
And
it won't.
no, I wasn't going to issue a closure
Yeah.
because it was minus 12. As it continued to decline as the evening went along, it became, well, it wasn't obvious.
Oh.
I was trying to err on the side of caution
Yeah.
because it continued to decline as the day went along. So now I'm trying to work around the minus 20 because it has been so bitterly cold. And if I worked around minus 15, we would have had no school for the past 7 or 8
Right, no.
days.
Yeah,
So,
I know.
that's where I'm kind of hovering, and, you know, having conversations with my colleagues in the region is also helpful, because we also are very cognizant of when it's called, it needs to be because, you know, that's the choice that's the best for our students and the region as well.
You mentioned the code of conduct
Yes,
committee.
yes.
I'm just wondering, so they're starting their work. Who's on the committee?
So far, the 2 administrators, every year an administrator or administrators lead the committee, and this year it'll be Lauren Stubb and Heather Keller. So every year it's an administrator that leads it. So they're getting their teams together.
Okay. And so, but who else is on the committee? So
I don't know yet.
Oh, okay.
They just got that appointment like 2 weeks ago.
Okay. It's all internal though, staff members, or?
Typically, it's internal staff members.
Okay.
We usually extend, and we've done in the past, where we send an invitation to board members and ask them if they want to participate. But once again, it's the staff who are kind of talking about how did the code of conduct work this year? What are some changes that we need? They talk about what that matrix looks like and did it work or what should we change?
Yeah, maybe if you're open to it, maybe if some board members wanted to participate too, that might be useful. So, yeah, okay, good. Thank you. So that moves us along to the consent agenda.
Curriculum.
Oh, I'm
You don't want to hear from me?
I do. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Okay, so next we will hear from our chairwoman of the curriculum committee, Aubrey Melick.
So we just met last week. We had 3 things that we discussed. First one was the continued work around the science curriculum review. We also talked about the redesign of the pre-K through 3 standards-based report card, and then we got updates on MTSS data and behavioral supports. So quick overview of science curriculum. So kind of laid that out last time of what the meetings were going to look like, but teachers met again. Prior to meeting, there was a teacher survey that was distributed. So teachers or teams of teachers met to talk about strengths in what they were currently using, gaps in what they were seeing. They took a closer look at the OC's STEM kits, and that's what the science teachers have currently been using. One thing that came out of the teacher survey was that many teachers had expressed a strong interest in seeing a STEM offered either as a dedicated special or taught by a STEM teacher. That was a common thread across the feedback for grade levels. So the teachers went over that. The next step in that is going to be they'll do a full day review. And what days? That's coming up, right? 2 days. On February 5th, they're going to do a full day review of 6 different science curriculum options, hoping from that to narrow it down to 2 programs for a deeper review. We're going to continue to get updates as this work progresses. And then, so that was from Jen class. Sorry, I should have mentioned that. And then Jen also talked about the plan to redesign the pre-K through grade 3 report card. So it's standard based right now. It's been in place since the 2017-18 school year. But they've always planned it to be a working document that could evolve over time. So some of the things that they are looking at for the redesign goals for this next piece is to shift from a 5 scale level to a 4 level academic key. Felt like some of the language on the report card is a little wordy, so that might act as a barrier to some families. So going to look at that, again, making it more family friendly. We also talked about how there's right now there's 2 parent-teacher conferences, one in the fall and then one in the spring, which can help with some of that discussion. But hopefully, you know, that could help to alleviate some of that when there's not parent-teacher conferences. They would benefit from just a clearer, more accessible language for that. So plan for that is that a family survey is going to be going out to gather additional input, and then the plan is over the next 4 to 6 months. They're putting a committee together to continue working on that framework. and redesign that for the 2026-2027 school year. And then Jen Mahar talked to us about MTSS. This is where we had a lot of really great discussion, talking about what we're currently seeing at our schools. Touched on what the data teams are looking at. Again, it's both academic and behavioral and attendance data. Again, a lot of this was, they talked about different ways to problem solve, to evaluate the different interventions that they're using. And then I really liked this with the problem solving, was talking about like the feasibility of doing certain interventions and then the impact that would make. So lots of really great discussions happening at those data team meetings. So it was great to get that feedback from them. We touched briefly on branching minds, which is something new that the district is using this year. We're going to look at it again in March, but it's hopefully to help bring more consistency to intervention tracking and decision making across the buildings. But then like I said, we had a really great just discussion with the people around the table. We talked a lot about office discipline referrals at schools, what those look like, and then how we can continue to support teachers while addressing the student behavior and attendance needs. We talked about the importance of identifying meaningful supports, interventions. We also talked about like the roles of our behavioral specialists and our social workers, and how we want to make sure that the teachers have those supports. And then we talked about how those supports in our schools really align with what the board priorities and goals are. So thought it was a really great discussion. We talked about how this is just great to keep getting this ongoing data, the updates, data tracking, and then the continued collaboration with the MTSS systems. Hopefully that's going to become fully embedded across the district.
Excellent report.
That's what I have.
I'm glad we didn't miss that. No, it was a really good meeting. So. Yeah. Any questions? Okay. Well, thank you for that. Thanks to all the chairs. Next, we have the consent agenda, and the first item for approval are a series of minutes, the regular board meeting from January 13th, 2026, Audit and Finance on January 15th, 2026, Health and Safety on January 21st, 2026, and Curriculum on January 29th, 2026.
Can we do the whole consent agenda?
Oh, I'm sorry, yeah.
We
need a motion.
I make a motion to approve.
I'll
the
second.
agenda.
So, we have a series of things on the consent agenda. So, Renee makes the motion, who's second?
I'll second.
Okay, Mary made the second. Discussion? Any, all of those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried, so the consent agenda is all set. That brings us to new business. And first, we have the BOCES Cooperative Purchasing Resolution.
I'll make a motion to accept the BOCES Cooperative Purchasing Resolution.
I'll second it.
Okay. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Volunteer applications.
BOCES cost
We got
methodology.
implemented the cost of
Oh, okay, so part B, approve BOCES unit cost methodology for 2026-27. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Mary moves.
Second.
Audrey seconds. Discussion. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. That brings us to item C, volunteer applications. We do have application for Sean Farr as a wrestling volunteer. Do we have a motion?
So moved. I'll second.
Okay, so Lee moves, Mary seconds. Discussion. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item D, the OTA MOA updating section 8.11 for New York State certification. And this is a minor change, but it's just adding, I believe, the certified, New York State certified. Yes. So it's just one small change. You want to make a motion, Kevin?
I'll second.
Kevin makes a motion, Julio seconds.
I'll second it.
No, Julio beat you.
Yeah, Julio got it, sorry.
I'm slow tonight, guys. What's going on?
You just seconded the next one.
Did
There we
I,
go. See, is
did
that
I
how they
notice
roll
something
over?
in it as well, for Pennsylvania?
So we have a certified engineer in our teacher group that is certified in Pennsylvania. Our bargaining unit does not call out that they need to be certified in New York State, even though that was our intent. So we have negotiated that this particular stipend will be given to teachers going forward who are certified in New York State. That's an important distinction. Even though she is certified, she is pursuing her New York State certification. We felt it was important to codify that in the bargaining unit.
Okay, so that particular, whoever or whatever, anybody that's certified in Pennsylvania for this year.
It was just one person
Oh,
who
was
was
just one,
affected.
okay, did I understand
And
that
for
correctly?
that, as we determined the clarity for that, we said that we would extend the stipend to her because she is certified.
Right.
However, going forward, only New York State certified.
Gotcha. I thought that's what, I just wanted to
Yes.
double check on that. Thank you.
Any other discussion? Okay, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item E, approve policy updates. So these are the two policies that we just discussed, dealing with concussion management and the safety plan.
So moved.
Lee moves, Betty seconds. Discussion?
Got it. There you go. Yeah.
Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Okay, you're speeding through things now. So, item F, May Board of Education meeting date change. So,
Cinco de Mayo.
I'll second that.
yeah, so it's to
Bring your own
amend our
checks.
schedule, moving the May 12th meeting to May 5th. And the reason why?
Is because we have to have it in the first week of May in order to align with the regulation. And so this is the way that we will be able to do that, and we'll move in LGI so that there'll be enough room for us to do the public hearing and the meeting. Budget presentation.
Okay, so do we have a motion? Betty moves.
Kevin did.
But Kevin did,
Second.
Julio
Oh, I'm
seconded.
sorry.
Oh, they already did it.
Yeah,
Oh,
so we're, yeah,
Thank you,
we're-
because
Oh,
now I can go to
oh,
my grandson's
okay.
graduation in Kentucky.
All right, so any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Item G, accept internal audit reports.
Make a motion.
So Renee makes a motion, do we have a second?
I'll second.
Audrey seconds, discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Item 12 is personnel, and we have a tenure correction for Andrea Neese. So, do we have a motion?
So moved.
Mary moves,
Second.
Renee seconds. Could you explain a little bit?
So the difference in the change is that we can only extend a 10-year period from a time that a person is certified. And so we needed to make sure that the reflection of Ms. Neese's tenure appointment was made as of the time that she was certified. So she couldn't be credited with years of service prior to the certification period in a tenure area. She couldn't accumulate credit on her JERAMA credit for that time. So we had to make an adjustment, and that's what this is about.
So all those in favor, or any more questions? Okay, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Item B, personnel consent agenda. So we have the whole consent agenda in front of us. Do we have a motion for the entire consent agenda?
So moved.
Mary moves. Kelly seconds? Sure. She's quiet tonight, so we'll make her work a little bit. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Informational meetings, that's item 13. So upcoming meetings. Operations Committee will meet on February 9th at 4:30 in the Board of Education conference room. Buildings and Grounds will meet on February 10th at 4 p.m. at the Board of Education conference room. Audit and Finance will meet on February 12th at 4 p.m. at the Board of Education conference room. And finally, our regular meeting in March will be held on March 10th at 6:30 p.m. here. Any questions? Okay. Next on the agenda is executive session, but I don't believe that we will be having it tonight.
Actually, yes, we are.
Oh, I didn't know that, okay. So for which items?
We are going in relating, number 6, please.
Okay.
Will we be inviting anybody in?
I'm sorry?
Inviting anybody.
Anybody?
We're not inviting anyone in.
And will there be
Will there be
action?
Not for the board to approve. No.
Okay, good enough.
Have a great night.
Okay.
Bye. Go with ya.
Don't fall asleep. We didn't just Lydia can't get on your fist enough either.
She was like a rocket.
What your time in?
Holy
So Mel has made a motion to go into executive session. Julio seconds.
Oh, no.
Okay. and
Okay,
that's all.
we
Quick, they won.